Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33. Hey! Welcome, everyone, to another super segment of Mixing It Up. My name is Barry Ross. We broadcast to you live in your home on TV 33 in most of Detroit, Comcast 20, and we have an online hookup. We're at TV 33, WHPR.com. We encourage you to get involved in this show because this is not my show. This is Detroit's show. This is all about community. And we got something to throw at you tonight, and we're encouraging you to call us. The numbers are flashing across the screen, but I want you to know I'm going to say them to let you know you're invited to call. Many watch the show and always tell me they just don't call. Tonight you're going to want to call. 313-868-4336, 0351, and 0342. Now tonight, we have a show for you that is literally out of this world. My first guest tonight is the amazing Miss Roberta Jones. Now, this woman takes care of young ladies that have been abused and houses them. So we're gonna talk about this in a few minutes. But I just want to let you know that I am flattered that this woman took it out of her busy schedule to come to this show tonight. We also have Mr. Marcel Arbuckle. Now, this man has a mentoring organization where it's more than mentoring, it's literally a class where young men that are in the foster care system who have been on drugs and alcohol between 17 and maybe 25 need help, need a course of life to be directed. And this man, who grew up in the foster care system himself, there's nobody more suited to run this course, and he's got something to tell you or not to leave. They're rehabbing a house, and it's just out of this world, and I can't wait to have my guests. I wish I could have them all on at the same time so we could have a panel. And we also have tonight, there's going to be a major health expo. Do you hear me? A free health care, free screening this weekend with games, contests at Belle Isle this Saturday, which is the 11th. This is the McKinney Foundation. And this family has a lineage of education. All the children are highly educated. One is an MD doctor. The other one's going for her master's PhD in education. I think she's going for a PhD. You would already have the master's, wouldn't you? So the McKinney Foundation is here. And TIAH, T-I-A-H, I even love the way it's spelled, McKinney is going to be here in about 45 minutes to tell you all about this free screening for those that are sitting up in a house and wondering if you have something and you don't have any money and you don't have any medical insurance. You're going to want to go to this Saturday. We also have, this to me is just mind-blowing. We have the Better Detroit Youth Movement, which is just such a great organization for our youth in Detroit. And they're so concerned about elevating the youth and getting them educated and becoming fine young ladies and fine young men. Well, we have a fine young lady here tonight. And I mean inside, out, all around. We have Lauren Cowan, who's been representing the Better Detroit Youth Movement for the last few weeks or so. She's going to be taken on the show about 10 after 10. And she is going to be interviewing Lisa House, who is a mayoral candidate. This young lady is going to be interviewing her, and I want you to call in and ask questions. I want you to call in on this segment, call in my show, but for sure call in when Lisa's here with Lauren. 313-868-4336, 0352. In 0351. By the way, This show tonight is dedicated to my very good friend's family and son, Michael Bussey Jr. Last Friday evening, his cousin was driving in the car, and the car had overturned, totaled the car, and Michael Bussey Jr. had to have emergency thoracic surgery on his neck. He had broken a vertebrae. And Minister Shabazz and I and Shabazz's family, we were all there to support this family. And this young man is in a Michigan rehab at the DMC. And yesterday was his 20th birthday. And there was nothing sadder to me than to see this young man on his 20th birthday on a bed with a brace. But he's mending, and his surgery appears to be successful. So Michael Bussey Jr., happy birthday. We love you. This show is yours tonight and the Bussey family. We're proud to be able to have great families, great men, great women in this city that are making a difference. We need to see more. Listen, at the end of the month, Minister Shabazz and I, Robert Robinson, and the Better Detroit Youth Movement, all our organizations have formed an alliance a while ago, and we formed the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. We want to encourage people in the city of Detroit that we can no longer sit around and wait for the police, for the government to come and save you. Have they come? Are they coming when you call? Are they taking care of the trash on your street? When you call the police and there's a shooting, how long does it take them to come? Well, you know what? Nothing against any of these divisions of government, but we have to start to do this ourselves. We're laying down for these young guys and young ladies on the streets. They're taking over our city, and I personally am sick and tired of it. We're all getting together on the 24th, 25th, 31st, and September 1st with 300, if you're hearing me correctly, 300 Wayne State students, and we're boarding up 20 homes, and we're going to clean up the properties, these tall fields. There's grass that's unkept. It's 4 feet high. And we're going to be cutting the lawns. We're going to be cleaning up. We got dumpsters. We're going to be at August 24th at Nolan Middle School. This is on East Lance in Russell in the 75, 7 Mile, 6 Mile State Fair area at 8 a.m. We're forming a circle, and we're going to dispense from there, and we're going to go to the doors. We're knocking on the doors first, and we're going to say, listen, you see us? We haven't forgotten you. These houses on your street that are unkept, we're not accepting this. We're coming out here to make a difference. Please come out, loan us a rake, give us a few dollars. Get involved. When we leave, can you maintain this street? We want to encourage you to be more independent. We can't come back to all these streets all over the city after we leave and maintain them. We want people to get involved. We also need donations, money. We need skilled labor. We need landscaping companies. Call me, 313-355-2807. Call Minister 313-646-3375. I honestly think he's the only person's phone number that I know. You know, nowadays all our phone numbers are on our phones. So please, get involved. Don't sit around. Years ago, when we weren't around, you know, you used to watch Cowboys and Indians, and the Indians would have the stagecoaches surrounded. They'd all form a circle, and they were waiting for the cavalry. Well, you know what? They ain't coming. Have they come? Is help coming to you? Are they cutting down the bushes and the lawns and the abandoned houses and the young ladies that are getting swept off into these houses and getting violated, raped, killed, murdered, and set on fire? How can we accept this? We boarded up a house a month ago. We found out there was a shooting. Young kids were getting high in the house. Someone came in waving his pistol around, discharged it, and we just found out that they were boarding it up that he killed somebody. This wasn't his intention. He was reckless. There was a murder in the house. This is happening all over in these houses that we do. Young girls are getting violated, killed, and set on fire. I went to these 2 young ladies' funeral last year, 2 caskets side by side, the same funeral. I almost vomited. I was so upset that we don't have anybody stepping up in this city. Where are our men? Okay, So that's enough passion in this segment for right now. We're going to get into our first guest, and I want you to get involved with us. And I'm going to continue to talk to you. I'm pleading with you. I'm going to come to your house and beg you to get involved. My number's 313-355-2807. It's my hotline. My personal cell, 248-417-9696. We have Kevin Lewis in the house, and we also have Joe Palazzo. I think I'm saying it wrong. It's Palazzo. Joe donated to the show. Joe's a finance man at a car lot in Detroit. We're going to have him on in a couple weeks, and he's here with his guest that I didn't have the privilege of getting her name. So welcome, everybody that's visiting. We have two other young men from the forestry organization in Detroit. I don't know the name. We're going to get the name. We're going to highlight them also. We all want to work together. We need to show everybody, no matter what color you are, no matter what race you are, religion you are, we're all the same inside. We must work together. Okay, right now, we're going to have the wonderful Roberta Jones is here with us tonight. And thank you very much. I hope I didn't scare you. Okay, you know it's hard for me. Welcome.
Thank you.
What is the name of your organization?
The name of the organization is Higher Calling Network Association, which is a nonprofit organization that facilitate various programs. And one of the housing programs is called SHAPE, which stands for Structured Housing and Placement Enterprise.
And what do you do with these young ladies that you have told me about that I could almost shed a tear, that your level of devotion, I don't mean to embarrass you, but you feel like I feel. We got some people in the house here tonight that feel for our children, and that's what we need. So what do you have going on? What are you doing with these young ladies?
Well, as the young ladies come to me, I assess and see what their needs are, and I actually treat them like they're my own children. And I house them, clothe them, feed them, whatever the need is. I teach them life skills, teach them how to garden, basic computer skills. Also, I help them to find employment, or if they don't have their education or GED, I point them in the direction to get their GED or to get them into college or things like that.
This is on top of you working as well in a career.
Yes.
This is on top of all that.
Yes.
Now, these young ladies have come from what kind of environments to you?
Various environment. Some have come from the foster system. Some have come from running away from their parents. Some have been victims of abuse. And I'm also opening up for domestic violence victims as well.
So they have a couple common threads, mainly some form of abuse, whether sexual abuse, abuse in a home, violence, what have you.
Yes.
And are they getting help? Are they getting involved in programs where they can get help, talk this out, work these issues through? Yes,
they are. They are actually being mentored, or if they're involved, like say if they come from DHS or something of that, they are continuing on their social skills with those different organizations. But with us, we have a social worker that's on staff that counsel and work with them as well.
That's wonderful. Now, do you have room for more young ladies now?
Yes, we do. We have approximately 12 rooms available.
And what do they need? What kind of criterion do they have to have, or what has to be going on with them in order to come in? Just call you, or is there something that they need to qualify, or?
Well, I don't turn my back on any of them. If there's a need, we will assess that need and try to see what's best for them. Maybe we might not be the organization that's good for them, but we will refer them to someone else that can actually help them better than we can.
That's what I like. That's what I like. In therapy, in psychological therapy, a therapist has to remain objective enough to know that they're not transferring something onto them that's making a difference in their recovery. So if you're objective enough to know that you can't help them, and that's admirable. And more people, a lot of people just throw people in to get money or this and that, whatever, just to keep them in, and instead of helping them. So you want to get them to the right place.
Well, yes, we're not in for the money. We're in for the cause, and that's to help our young people.
All right. Tell everybody the name of this again, and how they can get a hold of you or how people can help. Can they donate to you? Do you need money?
Yes, we definitely need money. We're in the
Okay.
process of rehabbing two family flats right now.
Okay, we're not trying to insult you and say that you're coming here and begging. I need money.
Yes.
Okay, so it's okay. You need donations. You could use donations.
Yes, we could.
Okay, where can they get a hold of you? How can they get a hold of you?
Well, our toll-free number is 800-631-4930, 800-631-4930, and our website is www.hcnanpo.org. Also, I can be reached through email at hcnanpo@yahoo.com.
All right, I'm going to have you repeat that before we go, because not everybody's always sitting in front of their TV writing and whatever. We're gonna. That's why we have you guys that come on our shows, our guests, repeat their information. Your background in your life, were you in the foster care system yourself?
Actually, I was there shortly because I was blessed to be adopted at the age of 6 months, but I did do a lot of things at an early age that got me caught up in this system, and that was I was a rebellious young lady, and I was running away from home, especially when I found out I was adopted. Then I really became rebellious. I was in a youth home, and I also stayed in Adrian, and that was a school for bad girls. So I am familiar with the system and the mental stability of the young people when they have been caught up in this type of a system. So when I came out, I still wasn't ready, but in '77, I had my daughter, and that was what really actually turned me around. I went to school to GOIC actually, and
Which is?
it was at that time it was Greater Opportunity Industrialization Center, and it was located on Oakman, right at Linwood, right near Focus Hope. And I went through the program real fast, so much so that I was at the head table with Coleman and Young. And I received an award, and then after that I went to Wayne County Community College. From there I went to Mary Grove College, where I achieved my bachelor's degree in computer science and business administration with a minor in music. And from there I was working with EDS, and I worked for the city of Detroit.
Ross Perot.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm looking at retiring within the next year or so from the city of Detroit, where it would actually give me more time to really put into the program and to be able to help more so with the young ladies.
I always, when any of my guests admit that they were a bad girl or a bad young man, I always like to state, you're looking at a drug addict for 25 years. I sold drugs. I was homeless. I was on the streets myself. So it seems to me that the people that are making the most difference, and this has nothing to do with me, are people that are most fond, they get into a career, hopefully, that means the most to them in their heart, and you can make a difference because you really mindset. There isn't a day that goes by I can't remember and think how I would have responded to something when I was 15. When something occurs,
Yes.
I would go, how did I respond to that? How should I respond to it?
Right.
So I'm proud of you,
Thank you.
even though I'm not your parent, and I'm proud to know you, and we're proud to have you here.
Well, can I interject something?
Yes, you may.
That is where one of the passions came from, was because of the lifestyle. And I wanted to show young ladies, because of where I've come from, that you don't have to make those same mistakes, and you don't have to sell yourself short or do certain things to achieve. You can do it on your own with the grace of God and the help of God and others that love you. You don't have to do negative things to get ahead as far as you think you're going to get ahead, because it actually doesn't mean anything.
Just real quick, and I'm going to let you close with your info. The times we're living in, most homes don't have daddies around.
Right.
The young ladies might be in a home with a mother that might be doing things that her daughter doesn't need to see, have men coming in and out.
Yes.
There might not be money in the house. The young daughter might be abused because of the mother's anger and rage. No food in the house. No proper upbringing, hygiene, how to interact with young men, how to be a lady. This isn't exactly prevalent. You know, the young guys wearing their pants hanging down, where the young girls are hanging out all over the place too.
Yes.
So, and this is all over everywhere, in all cultures today. And then they have to walk to school by abandoned houses, couches in the street, toilets, and see all these things. So there's so many things against them. Even if we let them know they have a choice, hopefully you give them enough love.
Yes.
Because I don't feel I was loved. And if you don't get love and you don't respect yourself and your self-esteem is low, right?
That's true.
You got to like yourself first. And these kids are full of hate, rage,
Yes.
anger. I'm going to hurt you because I don't care about me.
Exactly.
Okay, we got a hot minute. Why don't you close with, real slowly, your name, the name of the organization, how they get a hold of you, where they can donate, okay?
Okay. My name again is Roberta Jones, and I'm representing Higher Calling Network Association. Our mailing address is P.O. Box 31001, Highland Park, Michigan, 48203. P.O. Box 31001, Highland Park, Michigan, 48203. Our toll-free number is 800-631-4930. 800-631-4930. Our email address is hcnanpo@yahoo.com. hcnanpo@yahoo.com. And our website is www.hcnanpo.org.
I will have all this information. If you still didn't get it, I'm going to be working with her, and I'm going to encourage anybody else at the station to work with her. We want to get these young ladies shelter and homes and what have you. Thank you very much. Sit tight for a minute. Thank you. We'll be right back with our next guest.
Hi, Mom. Where'd you get all this Narcotics Anonymous stuff from?
Mrs. Owens had Narcotics Anonymous come and talk to our class about meetings that can help people stop using drugs.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yes, please. Can you help me?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
We are the faces of Detroit. We are the faces
of Delray.
We are the faces of Delray. Governor Snyder wants to put us out of our homes by building a bridge in our front yard.
Homes where we raised our families.
A community where we buried our loved one.
Delray is struggling, but it's not lifeless. It's a community of hopes and dreams.
Governor Snyder.
Invest,
not destroy.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Did you know that there are over 100,000 abandoned homes within the city of Detroit? If you are tired of abandoned dangerous houses in your neighborhood, please support the Greater Detroit Restoration Project.
Please make all checks and money orders payable to the Greater Restoration Project. The mailing address, 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit, Michigan, 48221.
All donations will help fund the expense of boarding up abandoned homes within the city of Detroit and Highland Park. For more information, contact Barry Ross at 248-417-9696 or Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375.
Hey, come on. Man, what is taking so long? Let's play.
Just getting a number.
Whose number?
Narcotics Anonymous.
Hey, if you need to talk.
No way, it's not for me, it's for my brother. He's constantly wasted. Come on, hoop time. Can you tell me about NA?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
All right, we're back live, and we encourage you to get involved in this show. You're going to want to call us, 313-868-0342, 4336-0351, and you're going to stay tuned because at about 10 after 10, Lauren Cowan will be having as her guest the mayoral candidate, Lisa House. This young lady is going to be interviewing her. You're going to want to be involved. So without any further delay, I want to welcome our next guest, Mr. Marcel Arbuckle. Thank you very much.
Barry.
And this man is too sharp. Next to him, and I'm a man that's been in the clothing business my whole life, I'm embarrassed that he's outshining me in his dress. So thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Get you a little closer.
Sure.
Tell us the name of your organization.
The name of our organization is the Center for Urban Youth and Family Development. And we, too, are a 501c3 that provides life skills development, substance abuse prevention, and workforce development training for youth that are in and transitioning out of the foster care system.
And your background personally?
My background personally, well, I guess I'll take it all the way back. At age 2, I was abandoned, left standing on the steps of the city courthouse along with my 2 brothers who were 3 and 4 years old. We stood there for quite some time, and one of my first blessings that I can recall in life, besides the gift of birth, was the fact that the person who discovered us and took notice to us standing there by ourselves was not a pedophile or some type of child molester, but it happened to be a social worker that was leaving the office. Their offices were located in City Hall, and we were left standing on the steps of the city courthouse. And she noticed the 3 little boys, and she picked us up and took us to Child Protective Services. And on the same night that we suffered the trauma of being abandoned, we also suffered the horror of being separated from our siblings, in that my brother and I, 2 and 3, were placed in one foster home, and our oldest brother was placed in a different home. Fortunately for myself and my brother next to us, the home we were placed in was the type of situation that all of the well-meaning bureaucrats who designed the system intended. It was a loving family, a husband and wife who had no other children. They were a very Christian family, and they raised us in the church and instilled the values of education and good family morals into us. And then on the other side of the coin, my brother had the opposite experience that you hear about the foster care system, in that he was placed in a home. He was just old enough to realize and understand all of the horrible things that had happened to us, and he made a decision that he didn't like adults and that they weren't going to tell him what to do. And in 1962, you didn't tell an adult what you weren't going to do, because there was no Child Protective Services to call when you're abused and beaten.
Sure.
And he was abused and beaten and transferred and bounced around from home to home. And he didn't actually settle into a home for 10 years. He was 14 years old before he actually got to a home environment where he was able to bond with the family.
And let it be known that your brother was a little older than you.
Yes.
So the profound effect of your mom abandoning you
Yes.
had a much more serious impact on him psychologically.
Yes.
You were a little too young to notice these effects.
Right.
Nevertheless, they were there.
Right. In fact, Barry, I'll tell you, it was even a significant difference between myself. I was 2 years old. I was able to bond with my parents, and my brother, who was next to me, who was 3, he was just old enough to believe the promise that our mother made as she to say, hey, I'm going to get you guys something to eat, and I'll be right back.
My God.
And he believed in that promise as much as little children believe in Santa Claus. And it caused him ultimately to have a nervous breakdown in his adult life,
What a
dealing
shame.
with that abandonment issue.
And a serious issue with authority.
Yes.
Which I myself had gone through. So, first of all, we commend you getting through this system.
Thank you.
If I could speak for the general public, you're a miracle. And every day that you're devoting to the, your association, your mentoring classes is beyond exemplary. Let's tell everybody what you have to offer here and where
Right.
it is. And you
yeah.
wrote a book.
Yes, I wrote this book. It's a nonfiction autobiographical work. It's titled I Have a Story to Tell. You can get it online at www.arthurhouse.com, or you can simply Google Marcel Arbuckle, I Have a Story to Tell, and they'll give you instructions on how to buy it. It's on Amazon and all of the places for Kindle and all. And then as well, if you want to pick it up here in Detroit, you can pick it up at the Hartford Memorial Baptist Bookstore at Hartford Memorial Baptist Church. That's located 18700 James Cousin, which is right there at 7 Mile and the Lodge Freeway.
Now, this book is not just autobiography, correct? It's
Correct.
a workbook, so
yes,
to speak?
It's
so we want them to know.
Right.
It
This
contains
book contains information on all of the issues that I faced in life, and then what I do is have the students read the book. We have group discussions, and then I have each young person write a 5-year life plan. What am I going to do with myself from age 18 to 23 when I age out of the foster care system? And I'm a person that has a corporate background. I spent 27 years with Ford Motor Company. A large portion of that time was in business planning, and I happened to watch a multi-billion-dollar international corporation plan their way out of bankruptcy. And if you remember, Ford Motor Company never borrowed any money.
That's correct.
It was because they planned their work and they worked their plan. And if it can work for a multi-billion-dollar international corporation, it can work for an 18-year-old child.
Now, something interesting.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about the reward. You wanted to figure out, you said to yourself, what can I make this class more interesting to the students?
Right.
You incorporated a few things, but it still wasn't enough.
Right.
You kept pushing the envelope and racking your brain. What can I do to resource because they're young?
Mm-hmm.
Our attention span is young. Let's take a quick call.
Okay.
I don't have enough time for my guest tonight. Good evening, you're on the air. This is Marcel Arbuckle. How are you?
Hi, how you doing?
All right, my friend. How are you? How you feeling? You've been watching the Olympics?
Yep.
All right, how you feeling?
It's hurting.
Perfect?
It's hurt.
It hurts? What hurts tonight?
My teeth and my mouth.
Your teeth and your mouth. Did you do what I asked you to do with warm water, salt water?
I did that.
You got to gargle. And listen, my next guest is having a free health expo this Saturday at Belle Isle.
Oh.
I want to meet you there. I'm coming.
Okay.
But I want you, can you get there?
I'm going to ask
I want you to call me.
All right.
You don't know my number. What's your number real quick, and I got to get back to my guest. Give me, what?
9 2 5 5 4 3 1.
925-5431. Is that Detroit?
Yes.
What is your first name?
Stevie.
Stevie, like Stevie Nicks.
Yeah.
All right, Stevie, I'm going to call you.
All right.
What's my first name? Good guess. Barry.
Barry.
All right?
All right.
All right. I'll talk to you.
All right, bye.
Feel better.
All right.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
We were talking about the incentive you came up with.
Right. After I put together the program, and let me just say that the reason that we wanted to have this program is that we found out that 65% of the young men that transition out of the foster care system without ever having been adopted, 65% of those young men transition from foster care to prison. About 45% of the young women that transition out of foster care without having been adopted transition from foster care into prostitution. And we wanted to impact those statistics. Only 2% have my story, that they transitioned out of foster care, went on to graduate from college, and live a productive life. And in order to impact those statistics, I said I wanted this program, but how was it going to get the kids to come every day? And I thought about it, and I said the biggest motivator I can think of is money. So we turned this into a summer job program. So all of the young people that go through my program, and I call it 6 weeks of mentoring on steroids. But they come in, they get substance abuse prevention training, they get life skills development training, they get workforce training, and then we also give them some cultural exposure. We take them on trips to the Charles H. Wright Museum, the Detroit Institute of Arts. We take them on a college tour to Wayne County Community College, Henry Ford Community College, Michigan State University, and we try and show these young people that there is another side of life and that they have the privilege and the opportunity to enjoy that other side of life.
The interesting thing is that society at large in the city does not know what possibilities are availed to itself in way of programs.
That's absolutely right.
And a year ago, I wanted to form an alliance with so many different groups just to build a website. Look at tonight alone here.
Yes.
The networking here. we all need to be making everybody astutely aware. How long is the course?
The summer program is a 6-week program. Then we will, in fact, this summer program will be coming to a close next Thursday on August the 16th. We'll then shut down and revamp for 2 months, and then we'll come back in November and start a Saturday program during the school year.
Oh.
And we run the Saturday program for 13 weeks, so it runs over into March or April of 2013. Then we shut down for a little while to revamp, and then once again we start the summer program.
I would assume it would be one of your dreams to have it be more consistent without the
Absolutely.
shutdowns,
Absolutely.
having to regroup.
Right, and as we grow, we're trying to develop the funds to be able to have staff to be in position to keep the program running year-round. And also, one of the things that we're doing to try and generate that type of financial stability is to get involved in semi-independent living. And that's very similar to Mrs. Jones' program in that we're going to be providing housing for young people that are transitioning out of foster care. One of the phenomenal things that has happened is that Liberty Bank was kind enough to donate a dilapidated property to our organization. We then got involved with a group called Rebuilding Together Detroit, and that organization got us involved in the Drops of Good campaign that was being sponsored by Kraft Foods and Maxwell House Coffee. And I'm happy to report to the city of Detroit that we are the recipient of $50,000 that is being used to complete an extreme makeover on our property. And the actual reveal will take place on August the 28th. And if anybody is interested in signing up to be a volunteer and to being there on that day, all you have to do is go to www.maxwellhousecoffee.com and look on the Drops of Good, and you'll see a yellow banner that says volunteer. Click on that banner, and then you'll go down and you'll see Detroit. Click on Detroit, and it'll take you to the ability to sign up. Once again, that's www.maxwellhousecoffee.com, Drops of Good, and then look for Detroit. And you'll be able to participate in the Extreme Makeover. We will be providing breakfast and lunch, as well as T-shirts for all the volunteers. You can participate on August the 25th, August the 26th, or August the 28th, and the 28th is the big day when we'll have the reveal.
I want to invite you out to our boarding up on the 24th in the morning,
Okay.
just to announce
All right.
this great event on the 28th. It's for several days, right?
Yes,
The
the
25th,
25th.
26th, 28th?
Yes.
I want you to come out. I'm inviting you to come out and say a couple words in terms of any, because we're going to have 125 students alone,
Okay.
plus all our organizations.
Mhm.
All right, I want you to come out, and who knows who else. We're supposed to have a remote broadcast. We're working on the news. Everybody else to come out. So,
Okay.
just real quick, we got about 1 minute. Give them the phone number.
Okay.
Where they can get involved, how they can enroll, if they can, donate money. You need money.
Right.
Everybody needs to keep going.
Our phone number at the office is 313-341-2130. Once again, that's 313-341-2130. And you can go to our website, which is www.thecenterforurbanyouthandfamilydevelopment.org. It's all one big word. Once again, that's www.thecenterforurbanyouthandfamilydevelopment.org. And if you're looking to get a copy of the book, once again, the title of the book is I Have a Story to Tell by Marcel Arbuckle.
And the book is available
At Hartford Baptist Church Bookstore, which is located at 18700 James Cousin. That's on the service drive of the Lodge Freeway, just before you get to 7 Mile.
Amazon?
And you can get it at Amazon, you can get it on Kindle, and you can go on the internet and go on Google, put in I Have a Story to Tell by Marcel Arbuckle, and it'll take you directly to being able to purchase the book.
You are a wonderful man, and again, I apologize for never having enough time for my guests. I always have such poignant, very, very interesting guests that are doing something in the community, and we appreciate you.
Thank you so much.
No, my
and
pleasure.
Thank you
and,
for the
and,
opportunity.
and I tried to come to your place, and I waited an hour. I'm not even going to get into it. I will participate in this class. I want to see what's going on, and people know if I say it, I'm going to do it. We'll
and
see you
Barry, we
soon.
want to give you this little gift. It's a nice pen, since
Thank
you're
you.
always writing.
Thank you.
A little keepsake to remember us
Thank you
by.
very much.
Thank
Sit
you.
tight for a minute, and we're going to have the beautiful, wonderful, I have so many adjectives, Tia McKinney, after this word.
Thank you.
Okay. You can get a tape of it. Are going to want to check me out. First Wednesday of every month. Join me, Barry Ross, remixing it up. It's webtv.com. I'm going to be reporting to you the facts and the truth, the way our society is run in Metro Detroit. 8 p.m., bringing you featured guests in relation to community, education, violence, what's happening on the streets in our town. It's Web TV, Barry Ross, remixing it up. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., the first Wednesday of every month. Remember, remixing it up with Barry Ross on itswebtv.com.
There are all kinds of people. Their variety is almost endless, and that's a good thing. Diversity is our strength, and so are our similarities. But there's one thing that far too many people share: addiction. If you are sick and tired of being sick and tired, call Narcotics Anonymous. Addiction doesn't discriminate. We can help you.
You're watching Power Talk on your community TV station, UHF TV 33, Detroit, Highland Park. The following program does not reflect the views and opinions of Channel 33, its management, or sponsors. Welcome to Metro Foodland, where you will always find courteous service. Our hardworking staff always gives their all to maintain our dairy fresh and wholesome products, cold cuts, premium meats, and of course, we have some of the freshest produce around. Check out our deli and bistro. We also carry specialty items such as Tanisha Noni, Water Station alkaline water, and much, much more. If we don't have it, just ask, and we'll do our best to get it. Remember to ask how to join our Healthy Rewards Club. Seniors and ladies, always ask for an escort to your vehicle. We'll see you soon at Detroit's own community grocer, Metro Foodland, located at 18551 Grand River. That's 18551 Grand River, near Finkel and the Southfield Freeway. Remember, that's Metro Foodland.
Okay, Ronnie, welcome, like Minister would say, welcome Black to my show. This is the Mixing It Up. I'm Barry Ross. The show just keeps going on and on. Again, this show is devoted to Michael Bussey Jr. and the Michigan Rehab. We want you all to pray for his speedy recovery in a terrible accident last week. He's family to me. He worked at Sermons Close, helping us out for years. His father worked at Sermons, and so that's that story. So please, stay tuned. Call. This beautiful lady sitting next to me is a very, very, very devoted person to making a difference in our city. And this is Tia McKinney from the McKinney Foundation. Do you know that Orthodox Jews, women cannot shake a man's hand? I found that out a year ago. They cannot touch if she's married. It just reminded me for some reason. A real gentleman doesn't always go to shake a lady's hand, but I figured that Tia would let me do that tonight. This is, you're going for your PhD?
Yes, I am.
And your sister is a medical doctor.
Yes, she is.
And I believe your mother is an educated woman.
Oh, absolutely.
And your grandmother?
My grandmother on my father's side was a school teacher.
See.
And she believed in education.
This goes deep in this house. The lineage and culture and they're giving back. So, Tia, you're having a major health expo this Saturday. Where is it at? And tell us about it.
Absolutely. First, I want to say thank you, Barry, for inviting me onto the show.
Sure.
Yes,
Our pleasure.
This is our third annual celebrating a healthier Detroit. It's going to be this Saturday, August the 11th. It's from 11 to 5, and it's on Belle Isle. Beautiful Belle Isle on the athletic field, and we are excited about it.
On Center Street. Is that Center Street?
You know, let me say this. You take the perimeter street and you go around, and it's past the halfway mark. It's past the Dawson Great Lakes Museum, and you will come up on the left-hand side. There will be a sign, but you will not miss the signage. You will not miss the green and white balloons, the McKinney Foundation's colors, and you will not miss the Detroit Lions signage. There's going to be a lot of excitement and energy around the athletic
And it
field.
starts?
It starts at 11 o'clock.
All right, let's tell everybody some of the participants that are going to be there and about the health screening. Let's give them a rundown of what you have to offer. It's not just some nice thing. It's a serious, important thing to help you.
Absolutely. This is like a three-ring circus. We are going to have an array of our sponsors there. The event is focused on eliminating childhood obesity through healthy eating and physical activity. And we've brought together an array of partners that are going to help us do that. First of all, Wayne State University, the physicians group, they're bringing out their top guns in terms of the physicians that are providing substantive, interactive seminars. I mean, top guns that are going to be providing half-hour sessions on everything from how obesity leads to chronic illnesses, from the nutrition of my plate, from just how to read labels and why it's important to do that, from how the Affordable Health Care Act impacts families and what it means to them. Just an array of substantive sessions. We're going to have hourly cooking, healthy cooking demonstrations and tastings with our healthy cooking chef, sponsored by Whole Foods, Lafayette Foods, local markets in the area. So you'll be looking and learning how to make simple substitutions to food to help it taste good, but also make it good for you and your families. We're also not going to stop there. We're going to have access to health screenings as well as affordable health insurance from Molina, Coventry Care of Michigan, Blue Cross Blue Shield. Those are among some of our partners. And then the Detroit Lions is heading up. They're actually sponsored our youth activity zone.
Who's going to be there from the Lions? What do you anticipate?
Well, you know what? They're going to bring out some top guns, and they're keeping it secret right now. I wish I could show you, but I know that it may change. So
and PAL.
Think Detroit PAL will be there as an exhibitor. We've got some other coaches, so we'll have an array of youth activity on the field. Uplift Athletics is also going to be on the field along with the Detroit Tigers. We're also going to have a coach doing basketball clinics, and we're going to have a hip-hop group that's going to be entertaining for every single person. Whether you're a young man or a young woman, it's going to be something for all. It's going to be fun.
The planning for this must take the entire year.
Oh my gosh, it's taken a crew, and it's taking an immense amount of timing.
And I don't feel bad because the project we have, boarding up all these houses, they gave us 1 month, and there's only a few of us planning.
Oh wow.
So first of all,
yes,
we appreciate this. Now, what kind of health screening? Blood work?
Wayne State University, DMC, Detroit Medical Center, Detroit Receiving is also going to be a partner, but Detroit Wayne State University is going to be providing their medical school students that are going to do the BMIs and the blood
body mass,
mass index, and the blood pressure
how fat
screening.
you are to how muscular you are.
Now, and I'll say this, we are going to have a tent that's dedicated to our fitness, and we're going to have top health and fitness professionals that are going to be helping to develop goals on working out. We're going to have exercises from Tai Chi to yoga to belly dancing. We're going to have an array of workout.
Free food?
Well, let me say this. From the cooking and tasting demonstrations, there's going to be tastings for all.
Okay. We don't want everyone thinking that, not everyone can have a full meal there.
Yeah,
you can
we
get
do
tastings
not,
of food.
absolutely, we do not want to mislead. So there's going to be healthy cooking demonstrations and tastings for everyone.
Okay. I'm surprised with this kind of enormous event that it really could be 2 or 3 days.
It really will be. We're growing to that level. This is our 3rd annual. We're very, very excited about it. The focus on this event is on the education, the awareness, and the access. And I'll tell you why that's important, because when we looked at the research that was put up by the Michigan Department of Community Health, and we saw that communities of color, our lives are being lost through things that can be prevented, through education and going to the doctor early. We
And
said
nutrition.
absolutely, nutrition and physical activity.
Let's
Yes.
take a call.
Sure.
And then I want to talk to you about the reason that the diabetes is on the rise.
Absolutely.
Good evening. You have on the show with me tonight Miss McKinney, the McKinney Foundation, Tia McKinney. How are you?
I'm good. Can you hear me?
Yes, barely. Could you speak up a little?
Yes. This is Jack Folsom, Detroit Jack. I was on your show a few weeks ago.
Yes, sir.
At
The
Reed
pharmacist.
Pharmacy, but we've changed our name to St. Paul Pharmacy. And I'd like to just say that I'm so impressed with the upcoming events that she's talking about on Belle Isle.
Thank
and
you.
would like to be supportive of that by allowing you to have us some space to put some advertising in our store or a flyer or anything like that. Do you have anything available for that type of thing?
Yes, we do. We have our flyers. Thank you very much for that offer. Absolutely. We'll provide flyers for you.
Absolutely. How can I get those flyers, or how can you get them to me?
Well, if you'd like, we can have someone drop them off at your location.
Great. Okay, we are at
Jack
9938 Harper, which is the corner of Gratiot Avenue, right where Cadillac comes together.
Hey, excuse me. I forgot your first name.
Jack.
I said, Jack, let's just give her your phone number real quick.
Okay, our phone number at the pharmacy is area code 313-921-3536. Again, that's 313-921-3536.
Thank you, Jack.
Great, and I'm looking forward to having at least some participation. And this is very in concert with what we're trying to do at St. Paul Pharmacy, and trying to empower people to take better control of their own health. And whenever possible, people in the community like yourselves and like ourselves, we lend a hand. And I've had a couple of successes that have taken place lately. And as I told Barry when I was there, we do research right there at the counter for people who are members of our store.
Jack, just real quick, give her your cell, because we got to go. I know I have it in my phone, but just give her your cell number, and maybe she'll call you.
Okay, great. My cell phone number is area code 908-327-7322.
All right, Jack. Thank you.
Very good, Barry.
She'll call
Take
you.
care.
They'll
And I
call
hope to
you.
hear from you all soon.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye.
All right, Jack. Thanks. Children.
Yes.
The supermarkets in the city of Detroit are practically non-existent. I bet you, I couldn't say. I would be hyperbole. I'd be exaggerating. There might be a dozen supermarkets all over Detroit, and they're not necessarily in the hood, so to speak. Our children here are relegated to shopping at party stores, McDonald's, Wendy's, Burger King, and their parents don't know. They're feeding them fast food too young, and which is elevating the rate and the obesity. In my clothing store, I had two young men that were twin brothers, 7 years old. They had 42-inch waists. If you know how big that is, they were so heavy. By the time they got to the second floor where the boys' suits were, they had to sit down because they both were on steroids from asthma, from being overweight. And the problems we're having, so this is paramount, and we appreciate the fact that you're working specifically with the kids. We got to get supermarkets. Whole Foods is supposed to be coming here.
Whole Foods is coming in 2013. They did the groundbreaking earlier this year, and they are one of our partners, and they've sponsored us. They are one of our platinum sponsors.
Wonderful.
Can I say that there's a group, Associated Food and Petroleum Dealers, that would probably beg to differ with you on the number of stores that you mentioned. They've mapped out over 80 independent grocery stores in Detroit, and that's probably a group that you probably need to talk to. But few of their stores are now sponsoring this event, so they'll be healthy food sponsors for the healthy cooking demonstrations.
Oh, I'm not detouring anything from the organization, and I've heard of them.
Yes.
and I know somebody that knows the president of them, but we don't see too many. Wherever these stores are, everywhere I drive around, I have seen, and Foodland needs the most help, which is not far from here.
Absolutely.
And they're on their last leg.
And I can say you're absolutely right when you see that there is an over visibility of the fast food and the foods that are prepackaged, high fat, high salt, high oil. That's very true.
And they taste the best, so they eat that.
Absolutely. And there is a very scarcity of foods that are the most nutrient dense. And at our event, we're instructing our chefs, you must shop locally. And you must show how to make simple substitutions to make the food not only taste good, but also good for you.
You know what else?
Yes.
You see 10-year-old little kids walking around with a pop this big.
Yes.
It's loaded with sugar and crap. I mean, when we were young, when I'm always saying, I'm 60. We didn't drink pop like this.
No.
You know, they sell the big gulps, and they're just slamming it down, and you know, whatever.
They talk about the proportion distortion, the sizes that you're talking about, because the supersizing of menus, supersizing of fried leads to the obesity. There's a lot of studies out there, but we believe that change begins with education, and that's why it's paramount for us to have physicians and for have the healthy cooking demonstrations so people can learn how to make changes.
We appreciate. So you're going to have contests, competitive games.
We're going to have the youth activity zone, and it's going to be full of all kinds of exciting activities that are going to keep the kids active, keeping them understanding the importance of how to incorporate physical activity in your life, but keep it fun, and also prizes and giveaways. So yes.
Wonderful. And if anybody wants to contribute, donate, going forward between now and then, or get involved or find out.
Absolutely. They can definitely check out our website, www.mckinneyfoundation.org. That's MCKINNEY foundation.org. Or they can also call 313-475-8774.
This lady is going for her PhD in education.
Education policy?
Education policy.
Yes.
And boy, does this city and this state need a strong lobby to prevent what's going on here, and our children are suffering. There's a school, and I believe in Highland Park, where they're boycotting and protesting that they're not getting, the students themselves are not getting adequate education.
Absolutely.
And these government schools, more government, the EAA, I hear most of the administrators and the teachers are really not that certified and qualified. It's like, you're a teacher, bam. They don't have to be certified. They're set up, in my opinion, they're set up to fail. And the better performing students are going to be in these schools, and the children left behind are the ones that are the slower students. That doesn't mean they're not smarter. That means they're not performing as well, so they won't get the same quality education. And that, to me, is discriminatory.
Well, I'll say the root of all the things that are happening in our society is because the quality of education, and the quality of education is so important. And that is why in all of our events, we will focus in on that education piece. Because we know when you empower people with relevant information that is beneficial to them, they can make important choices that make changes in their lives.
Let's take another call. Good evening, you're on the air. How are you?
Hello.
Hi, could you speak up, please?
Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Hi. Do you know who? Have you been listening to the show? I would presume.
Well, I just, I just got the telephone number what I had when I was at another address. I used to listen and watch this TV. What's his name?
Malik Shabazz?
No, it was Reverend. Yeah, he'd be on there sometime in the morning.
Holly. Listen, I don't mean to interrupt you, but do you have a question? We only have a couple minutes left. You're at the tail end of my interview with Mike. Do you have a question for my guest?
No, I don't have I'm going to call back, okay? Let me call back a different time.
Do you want to call? Do you want to take my number and call me?
Oh, okay.
But I'm going to say it to you fast, okay? You ready?
Okay,
because I got to go quick because we're winding this down and we have another very important guest.
Okay, well, who am I speaking to?
Mr. Ross.
Oh, okay. Give
Right.
me the number.
248-417-9696. That's my cell phone.
Okay.
You call
and
me.
I'll give you a call.
Don't be scared.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. So we have a minute. Ronnie, we have a minute? Okay. Just 30 seconds.
Yes.
Just encapsulate this and give them your info, and we got to go. I'm sorry.
All right. Please, if you want to learn more information about this event, please go to our website, www.mckinneyfoundation.org. That's www.mckinneyfoundation.org. Or also call 313-475-8774. And our email address is info@mckinneyfoundation.org. Definitely check us out. The event is this Saturday, August the 11th, from 11 to 5. Bring the entire family. It's going to be a fun, healthy event for the entire family. Come on down, Detroit. This is for you.
My God, Detroit, did I bring you a beautiful, intelligent, wise, important guest tonight? And we are so pleased to be able to have guests like the McKinney Foundation, and this is just going to continue. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank
sit
you,
here for 1
Barry.
minute, and
Sure.
sit here for a minute till we have a. We'll be right back after the station identification. It's 9 p.m. on
Where's Lauren?
TV 33.
You gotta bring Lauren
Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
Hi, Mom.
Where'd you get all this Narcotics Anonymous stuff from?
Mrs. Owens had Narcotics Anonymous come and talk to our class about meetings that can help people stop using drugs.
Narcotics Anonymous.
Yes, please. Can you help me?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
We are the faces of Detroit. We are the faces of Delray.
We are the faces of Delray. Governor Snyder wants to put us out of our homes by building a bridge in our front yard.
Homes where we raised our families.
A community where we buried our loved one.
Delray is struggling, but it's not lifeless. It's a community of hopes and dreams.
Governor Snyder.
Invest.
Not destroy.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special bulletin.
Did you know that there are over 100,000 abandoned homes within the city of Detroit? If you are tired of abandoned dangerous houses in your neighborhood, please support the Greater Detroit Restoration Project.
Please make all checks and money orders payable to the Greater Detroit Restoration Project. The mailing address, 17301 Livernois, Suite 405, Detroit, Michigan, 48221.
All donations will help fund the expense of boarding up abandoned homes within the city of Detroit and Highland Park. For more information, contact Barry Ross at 248-419-9696 or Minister Malik Shabazz at 313-646-3375.
Hey, come on. Man, what is taking so long? Let's play.
Just getting a number.
Whose number?
Narcotics Anonymous.
Hey, if you need to talk.
No way, it's not for me, it's for my brother. He's constantly wasted. Come on, hoop time. Can you tell me about NA?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
You are going to want to check me out. First Wednesday of every month. Join me, Barry Ross, remixing it up. It's webtv.com. I'm going to be reporting to you the facts and the truth, the way our society is run in Metro Detroit. 8 p.m., bringing you featured guests in relation to community, education, violence, what's happening on the streets in our town. It's Web TV, Barry Ross, remixing it up. Wednesdays at 8 p.m., the first Wednesday of every month. Remember, Remixing It Up with Barry Ross on itswebtv.com.
Hi guys, this is Lauren Cowan, and we are mixing it up with Barry Ross and the Better Detroit Youth Movement. Today we have a special guest, Miss Lisa House. She is running for Detroit Mayor in 2013. Here's a few key points about Ms. House. She is the co-chair of the Detroit delegation in Lansing. She's also a certified public accountant. She's the only certified public accountant in Lansing who's representing Detroit. She's also trying to increase revenues for the city of Detroit through a bill that has been bipartisan in Detroit. The House bill number is 5806. Here we have Ms. House. How are you today?
I'm doing excellent. How are you?
I am great. Ms. House, today we are going to focus on getting involved. So I would like to start off with the question of how should we get involved?
Getting involved is so important when you're talking about young people in particular. And in fact, I was with a group of them on last Friday for an event called Scream the Dream, hearing the voice of our youth and letting youth be aware that, number one, they have a voice in what happens in the city of Detroit, and knowing that there's leadership who cares about the youth of our city.
Okay, wonderful. Now, when you say that you care about the youth in the city of Detroit, what is it that drives your passion for the youth?
I would say the opportunities that were made available to me when I was coming up as a young person here in the city of Detroit were really important. So for me, whether it was junior achievement, participating in that, the Urban Bankers Forum, all of these things were tools that were made available to me to help to develop me into the adult that I am today. And so I always find it important to give back to young people, whether it be speaking at career days, sharing with them about the art of public speaking, which is something that I enjoy. And so it's just about preparing them for the future.
Okay. Now, why should we give back? Why is it so important to do so?
It's important to give back because you don't want to, number one, it's fulfilling. The very fact that you have an opportunity to help someone else to get from point A to point B and know that you had a hand in that process, it's a very fulfilling thing. The other thing is it helps you as an individual to grow when you see how you're able to impact the lives of others.
Okay. So what would be like the greatest moment for you as far as realizing you've made a good impact for someone?
The greatest moment for me, in fact, these are actual moments. It's when I've helped someone to get a job. Often I'm asked to write letters of recommendation for someone. Maybe they worked in one of my past campaigns, or maybe we had a previous relationship either in school or professionally. And the ability to be able to write a letter of recommendation and have that person actually hired into the job is important. Another thing is when I network with fellow colleagues who are also CPAs, often asked, do you prepare taxes or do you create business plans? I'm able to refer them to individuals that are a part of my network, and when those relationships work out, then I feel that I've done a good job.
Okay. Now, speaking of your network in the city of Detroit, how do you foresee as a mayor helping bring jobs to the city of Detroit?
I'm glad you asked that question. There are two major assets that we have neglected here in the city of Detroit. One of them is being discussed in the news right now, and that's Belle Isle. And the issue is when we don't put forth our own plans, other people begin to make plans for us. So Belle Isle and City Airport are two of the major assets that we still have as a city, where there's tons of opportunities that exist to be able to create jobs in aerodynamics or mechanical engineering. The fact that we have the Wayne County Community College within a mile of the airport. All of these educational opportunities as well as job opportunities can come together to improve the economy in the city of Detroit.
Okay, so does the WC3D, do they offer aerodynamic courses?
Actually, they do.
Okay.
And in fact, this past March, I hosted a seminar or a strategy meeting with representatives from the airport who are part of the management team, as well as other business partners within that area and the college itself.
Okay, so is it fair to say that the city of Detroit's airport is something you would like to help maybe bring back? Where
Abs-
we start flying out of the city of Detroit again?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Because I remember 20 years ago,
Mhm.
1991 to be exact, I took my first flight on Southwest Airlines out to Los Angeles, and I flew out of City Airport.
Okay. I actually drove past the city of Detroit this past Sunday, and I was reminiscing on being able to fly out of the city of Detroit. So I think that would be strong. If getting into office allows for changes to take place, why do politicians suggest that community members can make differences?
Because you absolutely can. There are more citizens and residents in the city of Detroit than there are elected leaders. The elected leader's job is to do just that, lead people. And so when we come together, politicians and people come together to tackle a project, we can achieve success and gain progress in our community.
Okay. Now, as the mayor, what type of projects would you bring to the city of Detroit?
Number one, it's about, when you talk about our youth, my goal and objective is to provide entrepreneurial opportunities for young people. The best way, you know, when we talk about crime, and oftentimes our young people are involved in many of the crimes that take place in the city of Detroit, and that's unfortunate. But we got to give them something to do, something positive for them. And when they have an opportunity to make money, honest money, to put in their pockets, their self-esteem will improve. Because you know how it is when you go out with your friends, you definitely want to have some money in your pocket. Else you're gonna feel a little bad. You're gonna feel left out. And so I would like to borrow from the things that I did when I was in high school. I sold candy. For nearly 3 years of my high school career, saved up $4,000 that was able to put me through the first semester at the University of Michigan. And so I have some ideas on simple things that young people can do to help generate monies for themselves as entrepreneurs.
Wonderful. Now, will there be programs that, you know, the youth can find as far as becoming entrepreneurs? Like, what type of resources would you provide?
Well, there are programs that address financial management, financial literacy. In fact, one of the programs that I referenced earlier where I spoke about teaching the art of public speaking to young people, it's a part of a program called the Accounting Career Awareness Program. And what that basically is, it exposes young people in high school to careers in accounting and business as well as college life. And a part of that week-long curriculum is an exercise where they get to select a career. They're given a certain amount of money with that career. They have to furnish an apartment or a home and pay for all their expenses as well as save money. So the key is that there are programs that teach you the fundamentals of money management, which I think is so key for our young generation, to understand that money doesn't come easy. And when you do have it, you have to be good stewards of that money.
Wonderful. Okay, now how do you express these things for the youth? How do you make it something that they can relate to?
The main
and take home and keep it.
The main thing is you have to speak to them on their level. Young people understand technology better than most adults. And so when you talk about today's age, when we're dealing with iPhones and iPads and text messaging and Twitter accounts, that's something that young people understand and totally get. So the key is, how do you then turn that into a money-making enterprise for yourself? If you're going to become a computer programmer, can you create an app that for 99 cents every time someone downloads it? You know, so we have to begin to change our minds in a way that we're not just consumers and buying things all the time, but we're creating things that we can market that others will buy from us.
Wonderful. Just want to change up the scope real quick.
Sure.
What would you not expect to accomplish in your term in office?
I expect not to accomplish overnight success. Because Detroit has huge problems that have been mounting for years. So anyone who would believe that we're going to turn this around overnight or upon the election night in 2013, when I am deemed and voted and elected mayor of the city of Detroit, and I create history as the first female mayor here in the city of Detroit. The reality is that we have huge and significant problems. But what I will communicate as the leader of this city is that this is where we are. This is where we're going, and I need you, the people of Detroit, to come along with me so that we can get there together.
Okay. Just briefly, I would like to extend the offer for our callers, or viewers rather, to call in. The numbers are 313-868-0342. If there are any questions or concerns you may have for Ms. Lisa House, feel free to give us a call. She's definitely willing to answer any questions you have. Am I right?
That is correct.
Okay, wonderful. Given the current fiscal situation, what compromises would you be willing to make in order to achieve successes for the city?
When you talk about compromise, you're talking about trying to get to a center, you're trying to get to reach common ground where we all can agree. And what these past weeks, we've witnessed in the city of Detroit harsh cuts that are impacting our public safety officers as well as our firefighters. These are our first responders who respond to calls of crime, who respond to calls of fires breaking out, or any type of medical emergency. And so that is a group that we can ill afford to cut any further. And so my commitment to the labor unions in the city of Detroit, number one, is that I want to develop a relationship with you based upon respect and trust. Because when you don't have those two elements, it's difficult for us to come to any type of agreement. And so the key is when we're referencing the fiscal crisis that we're in, we have to recognize, number one, that we cannot cut our way to prosperity. We have to be innovative in the things that we do so that we can begin generating revenues in the city of Detroit. And I truly believe that the low-hanging fruit and opportunity that we have is to begin to change our image. Okay. You see, the eyes of the world are on the city of Detroit. I have friends, and I'm sure you have friends in other states who will call you because of something that they saw or heard on CNN. Am I correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So that happens all too often, and I have to tell them, turn your TV off. I'm living here. I'm experiencing it on a day-to-day basis, so I know what's going on. And so what we have to do is begin to do is, number one, take responsibility for where we are. It's not a time to point blame and say who caused this or what happened on this mayor's watch or that mayor's watch. It's about what's happening now and what are you going to do about it. And so that's number one. And I think that translates to the people as well.
I believe we have a caller.
Excellent.
We have a caller, you said? Push. Hi, caller. Thank you for calling. Who's speaking? Are you there?
Is that me?
Yes, that's you.
Okay. I was calling. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. You can hear.
I can hear.
Cut your TV down, though.
I'm going to turn my TV down. I'm awfully sorry about that. Okay, now, could you tell me, since we have, with the police not being on the street now, it has been so bad with cars just running red lights. I mean, really, really bad. They'll stop and then they'll go. And I think it's terrible. I mean, I heard you just mention about the police and firemen, and we just can't survive in the city, for something like this going on.
Well, to your point, when anyone is considering whether to live in a community, do business in a community, establish a new business in a community, they want to know how safe it is in that community.
Absolutely.
And so when there's an absence or even the appearance of an absence of the presence of police, then, the old saying, when the cat's away, the mice play. And so you have a city that is headed for chaos. When you don't have that type of structure in place where you know that you can't get away with doing certain things because no one's looking. And so we all have to be mindful of that.
Right, and I just kind of want to put that out there with the people also, and thank Mr. Ross for having you on.
Thank you.
All right,
thank you for calling.
And good luck, 2013.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Wonderful. Okay, Ms. House, one other question, just in continuation of what we were already discussing. Oh, is there another caller?
Oh, you gotta get closer to the microphone.
How do I hear? Okay. What type of legacy would you like to leave behind here in the city of Detroit? I do understand that it is going to be very awesome if you win, because you will be the first mayor that's a female, as well as just what are some legacies you would like to leave behind when you are no longer mayor?
Thank you for retiring me already, but no. I'm in and I'm out, just like that.
You still got to leave a footprint, right?
Absolutely, absolutely. Well, you know, it's truly about the input or the impact that you leave on individuals' lives when you're talking about stepping into a position like this, and recognizing that for me, it's not something that, you know, I want to be mayor for a lifetime. And I think politicians who try to serve for a lifetime kind of lose the urgency of being able to have an impact now.
Okay.
And so what I would ultimately like to do is I want to establish and create millionaires in the city of Detroit.
Okay.
I think that can start with our youth, because number one, you've got enough time ahead of you to make that happen. It's about planting seeds today that you can reap the benefits from tomorrow. So my whole goal in running will be one of sowing seeds, planting seeds into the lives of young people, into our adults, so that when we look 10 years, 20 years from now, you can say, I remember when.
Okay, wonderful. Ms. House, I hate to cut it short so soon, but our time is actually up.
Oh, no.
We are, just to close out, guys, you are watching TV 33, Mixing It Up with Barry Ross on call letters are WHPR. We are with the Better Detroit Youth Movement. You have myself, Lauren Cowan. And again, thank you for viewing. And thank you, Ms. House.
Thank you.
Tuesdays, 9 p.m. on TV 33. Join me, Barry Ross, on Mixing It Up. We'll feature informative community organizations that will offer solutions to Wayne County residents in reference to employment, safety, and security within neighborhoods, job training, education, and mentoring programs. Remember, Tuesdays, 9 p.m. Join me, Barry Ross, Mixing It Up on TV 33.
Hi, Mom. Where'd you get all this Narcotics Anonymous stuff from?
Mrs. Owens had Narcotics Anonymous come and talk to our class about meetings that can help people stop using drugs.
Narcotics Anonymous?
Yes, please. Can you help me?
Call Narcotics Anonymous. We can help you.
You're watching UHF TV 33, Detroit Highland Park.